So because of reasons, I can only record with commentary at certain times of the day, and it just so happened that today Blizzard servers were not working during that time, so I couldn't do any games with live commentary. And then later on in the day, I decided maybe I could just record something and then do like a post-commentary thing for it. But I didn't want to do anything like any of my normal content like that, so I thought I would just hop into Wild and screw around a little bit. And I'm ranked 25, as you can see, because I don't think I've ever played Wild. So anyway, I decided I would play a spin on the Time Warp Mage deck. I figured I would go for the classic Emperor Thaurissan to discount Barnes, Brann, and Time Warp, pull 2 Blood of the Ancient One out of the deck, and then punch for 30 on the following turn. So obviously the problem with this deck is you have to draw that combo before you draw your Blood of the Ancient One. And also in this deck I have a few more minions than I probably should, so you also have to have Blood of the Ancient One as the last guy in your deck, which is kind of hard. So I came up with a cute little solution to that, which is just also hit Manic Soulcaster and Blood of the Ancient One with the Emperor Thaurissan tick, if you happen to draw the Blood of the Ancient One, and then you can shuffle it back into your deck, so then you can still pull it with Brann and Barnes. But I didn't realize until like halfway through this game that if you do that, you're probably super low on cards, and then you're just going to draw your Blood of the Ancient One next turn anyway. So I don't think that was a very good plan. I also don't think you can completely go all in on the, like I don't think Blood of the Ancient One, Thaurissan, Brann, and Barnes are the only minions you can play in this deck, because then you have to play like really mediocre cards like Fireball or Polymorph or something, and they just don't work so well on this deck. So I decided I had to play a few minions at least, but I'm not really sure where the proper balance for that is. But anyway, that's the meme, that's what I'm going for, so let's actually talk about the game. So as you can see by the cards my opponent's been playing this game, this is a rank 25 game. I feel a little bad bullying this guy at rank 25, but it's not like I actually have a good deck. So right here I have 6 mana, just gonna drop the Cone of Cold, freeze his board, throw down a Doomsayer. He decides he wants to play a Nightblade into my Doomsayer. Maybe he doesn't know what Doomsayer does, didn't bother to read the card or something. Or maybe he just really wanted that 3-face damage. So my Doomsayer goes off, that's excellent. I don't really have much to do here, so I just develop a couple secrets. My quest is still pretty far off, 1 out of 6. So getting that mana bind in play might help me out a bit. He does 2 damage to my face here, putting on a lot of pressure. Arcane Intellect is an excellent draw. Out of the hand space, I just go ahead and play it. So now I have the Thaurissan, Barnes, Brann combo, but hitting the Ancient One is not reliable right now, so I still have to wait it out a bit. He gets me for another 2, and smacks me for 1. So here I'm just going to go for the Primordial Glyph. Take the Ice Barrier here because the other 2 cards are garbage, and then I'll just go ahead and freeze his board and develop the Ice Barrier. He Sinister Strikes me again, which gives me a 0 mana spell from the Mana Bind. I obviously don't care about the 3 damage to him, but it's nice to advance my quest. So I check my hand size, check how far I am on the quest, and decide I just want to get this out of my hand, get this mana bind out of my hand, and then I'm just going to toss away this Frost Nova. Or I think about tossing away the Frost Nova and decide to toss away the Blizzard. Blizzard and Frost Nova in this deck are pretty much the same card, so I just throw away the one that's more expensive. I was only able to get one card out of my hand, or two cards with the mana bind. I was only able to get two cards out of my hand that turn. So I just threw away the more expensive one. Just trying to free up space so I can actually play this Kabbalist Tome. And I have the hand space now, so I go for it. And just for the sake of getting more cards out of my hand, I go for the Frost Nova Ice Lance to deal with his Goldshire Footman. So now I think I'm up to 5 out of 6 on the quest. I've got a Flame Cannon in my hand, which is pretty easy to cast. So at this point, I'm just trying to see if I can hopefully draw the Novice Engineer and the Doomsayer before the Blood of the Ancient one. So still trying to draw some cards here. Go for the Primordial Glyph here. Take the Ice Block. Ice Block is like the best card you can get in this deck. And then we just throw away the Flame Cannon, throw away the Frost Nova, just to open up some hand space and finish the quest. So he saps my guy here, which gives me a full hand. But overdrawing at this stage doesn't really matter. Because, like, if I overdraw the Blood of the Ancient one, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to have time for the Thaurissan Tick and then the Manic Soulcaster play. The Manic Soulcaster thing is just really not working out in practice. So the difference between adding a Blood of the Ancient one to my hand or overdrawing it here, there's like no difference. I hit the Doomsayer, which is really good. At this point, I have a 50% chance at winning. So I just throw down my Thaurissan. I go for the Frost Nova here. For some reason, I briefly reconsider. Make sure that's still an Ice Block. Hasn't changed in the last 10 seconds. Freeze his board, get the proc, and then I'm just praying that I draw Novice Engineer next turn.
One shot, one.
So he gets me with the Elven Archer. And I draw the Novice Engineer. So I go for the Brann and the Barnes. I pull 2 Blood of the Ancient one out of my deck.
A tale of terrible tragedy.
And then I throw out the Time Warp. Take my extra turn. At the end of this turn, I get the 30/30 minion. And then I smack him for a good 30 damage right here. So I know this is a little bit different from my normal content, but the circumstances are what they are. I promise we'll be back to normal tomorrow.